And joining us now, Oklahoma State linebacker Malcolm Rodriguez. Malcolm, what's up, man? Thanks for giving us some time.
I appreciate you guys having me.
How's the rounds been today? Looks like you've been everywhere so far.
I have been everywhere. No, it's going fun. I've been having fun. Lots of fun interviews. Interacting with kids. I mean, it's just fun out here. I love being here.
Yeah, we saw you over there. It looked like at the Academy campsite,
Mm-hmm.
answering some questions from
Yeah,
some kids. How was
I was
that?
answering Mark and Hunter. Man, they just asked us some questions to get a little reporting done for them.
There you go. That's always good stuff. We've got a lot, obviously, looking to look forward to when it comes to OSU defense this upcoming season. We mentioned it a bunch of times because it's so easy to get wrapped up in every single team. Hey, what are they going to do offensively? Well, for the Cowboys this year, it seems like the defense could actually be the story that maybe anchors this team. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I would say so. We just got a lot of guys returning, a lot of veterans, and like we just been competing chemistry in the spring. Everyone knows what to do. Like, and that's what you need. Like, once you start clicking like that, it's hard to get score on us. So I mean, like I said, we got a lot of guys coming back, and everyone's just dialed in and ready for the fall.
Yeah, and you mentioned some of those guys returning, with you being one of them, obviously, but in the
Hmm.
secondary, too. It
Yeah.
seemed like there was a lot of questions coming back this year for, okay, is Colby going to return? What's Trey going to do? All this stuff. You get both of those guys back in particular. We had mentioned it before a bunch of times as well, the tandem of you and Eamon last year.
Hmm.
Now you've got back in the secondary two of the best as well with Trey and Colby. That has to feel good in that backup, too.
That's always good when you have someone like that behind your back, just in case you mess up. So they always got our backs, and we got their backs. So, and even the D line, they're always, they're always in the trenches. So they make our job easier. But we got a lot of guys, a lot of experience, and it should be a fun year.
And as far as, mentioned Eamon, obviously him not being there anymore, you guys were one of the better 1-2 punches that you had.
Hmm.
Devin Harper seems to be one of those names that's going to be coming up and have a chance to play more around you.
Hmm.
How are you feeling about him in particular, maybe being next to you?
I mean, Devin and I are cool, man. We go way back. I mean, he knows every position. He knows he ins and out of the defenses, so it's not going to be a problem. Him and I are going by each other. We love each other, man, and he'll probably say the same thing.
Yeah, and you mentioned the defensive line, too. What can we expect this year from those guys up front as far as keeping the ball in front
There
of
will be some playmakers. You got Jane Jernigan back, Colin Clay. You got Sione Asi, Samuela Tuilamaka. Then you got a lot of guys, a lot of depth at the D line. So it should be a fun year.
And then let me flip you over to what your thoughts are for this offense returning, because you do have a couple of big-time playmakers no longer there, obviously with Tylen, with Chuba, but there's a lot of guys that looks like they're going to step into that role.
Yeah.
Spencer, the same thing. As far as leadership on that side of the ball, how are you guys feeling about them, getting down the field and maybe keeping you guys off as much as possible?
I got total confidence in them. Spencer, you got LD Brown, you got Tay Martin. I mean, all playmakers. BP, Vernon Presley. So, I mean, they got a lot of talent over there. Josh Stills, I mean, you got a lot of leaders over there, so I'm not worried about the offense.
You lose some really good talent from last year. Obviously, Eamon, he's a huge hole to plug up there in the middle. You lose Rowe off the edge, Cam Murray off the front, but you also return a ton of talent. If there was one guy that maybe not everyone has heard of, kind of flown under the radar a little bit for you guys, that you feel is going to make a pretty big impact this year, that people need to know his name, who would that be?
Like I said, it's a team thing. It's a team sport. So I think everyone's going to be making plays out there. It just depends on what type of day you are. So every game, everyone's going to make a play. And you're like, dang, like, where was it? Like, it's just going to be like that. Like, we got guys like that are committed, big experienced veteran guys that's just going to step up in big times.
Not that Oklahoma State has struggled at defense, but the Big 12 as a whole has not necessarily been known as a defensive league. Jim Knowles has been here 4 years. He has completely turned this defense around. Just how huge has he been for the defensive culture for Oklahoma State?
It's big. I mean, he adjusts too. That's a big thing for DC's adjust. When he first got here, he put a lot of plays in. I mean, you could say we got gashed on big plays. Then next year, he cut some stuff out. Went to the plays of the Big 12, started cutting things in and out. So we have adjusted very well. He's adjusted very well to like the system and like what works well for the players. Like we run some plays. If it works in the game, all right, we're gonna run that again. And players, like, it's a coach's player thing. We'll tell him that, hey, like, this is working. Let's run this more. So he's taken that very well, and he's adjusted.
As far as overall for you, Malcolm, this past year, how easy was it for your decision to say, I'm going to come back to Oklahoma State?
It wasn't that hard of a decision, actually, because I had to get my degree in the fall. So that was a no-brainer. Then I got guys, like I said, guys are back, and I came in with, and so I wanted to play with them, make more memories with those guys.
So the idea was, hey, look, we have something to
Yeah,
we
we
feel
got
like we
something
can do something
special. We
special.
can keep improving more.
Yeah, it
Yes.
looks like that's going to be the opportunity at all three levels too, like you've mentioned. And then for the idea of it's one thing to be a good defensive team in the Big 12.
Hmm.
What's the mindset for you guys? You feel as though you're one of the better defenses potentially in the entire country. Like you could take anybody on at any time.
It's a good feeling, man. When you go out there, you just want to shut an offense down, and we're trying to do that every play. And so that's our mentality: just go out there, get off the field, let our offense get the ball.
And I think I know personally the answer to this one as well. But as far as your leadership and what
Mm-hmm.
you bring to this side of the ball, as well as the entire team, I feel like there's a lot of people that are going to be looking back at you this season, especially
Mm-hmm.
on the defense. Hey, we need to stop right here. Malcolm's our guy. Do you feel like that's put any pressure on you at all?
Oh, no pressure at all. Everyone's gonna make plays. Like I said, we're gonna have a lot of playmakers that's gonna be able to make big time plays and big stops. So it's not just me; it's everyone. We got leaders in every position. So that's a key point for us in the defense.
We've talked about defensive leaders. We talked about all the guys you've returned. I think this is probably going to be the answer we get from any player we ask. But 2021, it looks like we're going to have full stadium again. All the fans are going to be back. Just how big of an impact is it to have a full stadium everywhere you go?
It's gonna be loud first game. I'll say that because everyone's gonna be back. Guys, people that ain't come last year, gonna come to games this year. So I'm excited. All the fans out there, they missed a good time last year, and now it's just gonna be full capacity. So I can't wait.
Week 3, you travel out to Boise.
Mhm.
What are the thoughts on playing on that blue turf?
I've always played NCAA on that turf.
Yeah.
It's a cool turf. So I always hear about ducks flying on the field because it looks like water. So I'm like, dude, I can't wait to look up and see some ducks or something. So I'm excited to go down there and can't wait to play.
Is there any way to even prepare for that as far as visual that you guys know of?
I don't know. We're gonna see.
You'll be like,
We're gonna
throw you
see.
out there and see what
I'll
happens.
let you know by game time.
And then last thing for you here real quick, because I know you've given a lot of credit to Rob Glass for what he's been able to do in terms of, transforming you a little bit since you've come over here. How has that continued into this last season here for you?
He just known where to work out, the key points for us to work out, how get bigger, stronger, and he's been in the system for 30 so odd years, so he knows the ins and outs of what our body need and what's beneficial for us, and so he does a great job, and that's why he's been here so long because he knows that he knows his players.
Sure. That's Oklahoma State linebacker Malcolm Rodriguez. Malcolm, thanks so much for giving us some time, man. Enjoy the rest of the day,
Yes,
and good
thank
luck
you
this
guys.
year.
Thanks, Malcolm.
Thank you
That's
guys.
Malcolm Rodriguez. We appreciate him.